Bird Blend. $5.17 of every purchase of the Early Bird Blend goes to Lansing Common FC, and the remaining proceeds are donated to help the Lansing community. For May and June, every purchase of the Early Bird Blend supports the Mikey 23 Foundation here in Lansing. Strange Matter Coffee, cultivating community, stellar coffee, and awesome donuts. You can sample their iced coffee options right now in the south end of the stadium by the concession stands. Well, it's a beautiful day for soccer here in LA, the Lansing area, that is. And now for the starting lineup from the West Michigan Bearings. Number 17, Patrick Beal. Number 19, Gabe Bird.
Eastern Stadium, where dreams come to die. It is that point of the season where every point matters, as it's a top-of-the-table showdown as the West Michigan Bearings make the 60-mile trip to the capital city of Lansing to take on Lansing Common FC. Good evening, everybody. Welcome inside Eastern Stadium, the press box, I should say. Cameron McLaren joined alongside nobody as Josh Pugh has taken a sabbatical for the weekday. He should be back on Sunday, depending on the result of this match. As we as we take a look, I should say, at the opposing starting lineup for the top of the table, West Michigan Bearings, a familiar sight in goal for them. Patrick Restum, a former Robin in the 2021 maiden season, has jumped ship. He's gone to the west side. He starts in net for the top of the table Bearings. Patrick Beal, Gabe Bird, Levi Haight, Grant Hessenrick, Matthew Henry, Jordan Hooker, the danger man for them, William Rabone, Chris Shaw, Mitchell Strausser, and Reed Vanderlucht, the 11 for the visitors. And we take a look at the starting lineup for your Robins. It's the same lineup as last weekend in the 4-2 victory over Tulip City. Spiegel getting the nod in net once again. A defensive four of Aiden Antcliff, Kevin Payne, Ben Derby, and Landon Hungerford in the midfield. Mark Wishmeyer, Jack Voigt, Jack Beck, and Luke Kalovitz getting the start for head coach Brett Sorgan. Up top, Fedi Omar making his second start, his second consecutive since starting last week against Tulip City, and Seth Russ, who is the final man on the 11-man roster. And as it stands with just a few moments before kickoff, we'll lay down the lay of the land here. West Michigan, this is their final game of the season. An 8-2-1 record, 26 points, sees them in first place in the Great Lakes West Division. Their final game being played here could decide who, in 2 weeks, ends up at the top of the table, and is right behind them in second place in the division, 1927 Sport Club, a team that Lansing Common played in their first competitive match 3 seasons ago. They sit ahead of the Robins in the table at a 7-2-1 record with 23 points. It is a huge weekend for all 3 teams, including the team from Fort Wayne, Indiana, who will make the trip up the corridor into Michigan territory to play this same Lansing Common club on Sunday at 4 p.m. And the Robins, 9 games played, 6-1-2 in those games with 19 points, tied with Livonia City, who do not have a route to winning the division. As it stands, the 6 teams, I should say, eliminated from contention for the division title. Livonia City in 4th place on 19 points. Tulip City had their title hopes snatched away from their fingertips last weekend against Lansing Common in that 4-2 loss. They sit in 5th with 16 points with nothing but pride to play for in their 2 games remaining. BIH Grand Rapids, a story for them during this match as their 3-1-6 record. That one draw has opened the door for Lansing Common in their final game should it come down to the last weekend. They sit in 6th with 10 points. And then rounding out the bottom 3, Futsal Factory Academy on 8 points, United West FC on 4 points. They will take on 1927 Sport Club next Sunday in the entirety, or in the final game of the Great Lakes West Division. And sitting in last place with just 1 win and 10 losses is Holland Rovers FC on 3 points. And in the East, it's pretty much a street race at this point. Inter Detroit and Liquid Football, 1 game in hand for Inter Detroit. They sit 1 point back underneath Liquid Football. That is going to be a title race to watch out for, as Inter Detroit halfway through this season looked to be title favorites of all the Great Lakes Conference. They sit now just 1 point behind Liquid Football, who has come storming out of the halfway mark of this season to now eclipse that first place spot. And then rounding out for them, or in the Great Lakes East, Thundercats SC, a team that beat Lansing Common 1-0 2 weekends ago, tied with Troy United on 15 points, followed by Michigan Stars, Michigan Jaguars, Detroit Union, Cedars FC, and a lonesome AIM SC with just 4 points in the East. It's the teams lined up, ready to go. We're waiting for the referee's signal as it all comes down to this, a must-win game for Lansing Common, and we are underway from Michigan's capital city. Immediately played, looking for the boot of Jack Voigt. Voigt around the defender, up in front looking for Russ. It finds the head of Michigan Bearing. A wild shot from the outside the 18 by Beck, and that results in the first goal kick of the game as Lansing Common looking to be the team that starts on the front foot. They've started out slow in a majority of their games, besides just a few matches in which case there was a penalty and 2 goals scored within 10 minutes in a game earlier in June. And Lansing Common looking to slay the Dragon. They're 0-3 against West Michigan this in their club history, including their first match in the Midwest Premier League. A 3-2 loss to these West Michigan Bearings just 2 seasons ago. Be ushered out by Gabe Bird. As this West Michigan team, it's been smooth sailing for them a majority of this season, including getting a forfeit victory at the beginning, or I should say 2 weeks ago. 3-0 forfeit by Cedars FC due to the poor air quality on July 1st. A game that was played on the west side, could have been played, as the spectators would say, but nonetheless resulted in a 3-0 victory for West Michigan that gave them their 23 points. And had a win last weekend against United West, a 3-0 victory for the Bearings on the road. Brought forward by Levi Haight. He's got numbers along the far side. Here comes Bearings. A sturdy check by Derby, able to dispossess the man as Haight had a 2-on-1, I should say, going forward. Just could not play his forwards. Played back to Pat Restum. The West Michigan Bearing netminder had 2 appearances for Lansing Common in that first season, including 1 start. Now to Levi Haight. Along the near wing for Jordan Hooker. Played along the far side looking for Gabe Bird. He'll hold it in along the touchline and poked out off his left boot, results in a goal kick for the Lansing netminder and Sam Spiegel. Spiegel, a native of Bedford, Indiana, playing his collegiate soccer at Taylor University. There's 4 wins this season for the Robins. It's a foul committed at the middle of the park. Voigt went down. It results in a Lansing free kick. The Robins, who've had some interesting little tidbits in the formation this season. Lots of midfielders on this roster, lots of depth at that position, just unable to find the switch in some games. This last week was an eye-opener for head coach Brett Sorg, who was on the road in San Diego with his club team, the Michigan Jags. This is played forward in the middle of the park. Haight, this pass intercepted by Hungerford as the Robins will look to press forward. Voigt for Fedi Omar. Poked out for a Lansing throw. Antcliff in for Omar. Taken by Hasenrik. Now back for Haight. To the near wing for Reed Vanderlucht. Taken away by Kalovitz. His first touch evades him. Instead, it's a turnover at the halfway line for Jack Voigt. Played through to Russ, got clipped in the process. Play continues. Omar along the far side. Flag stays down for the moment. Omar along the near wing goes off a deflection and out for a corner kick. The first dangerous sign of offense for the Robins. As it looks, Seth Russ looks to be okay after taking a knock just outside the 20-yard line. set pieces. That will be something to keep an eye on throughout a majority of this match. Lansing Common enjoying some freedom on a lot of set pieces, especially from corners, and West Michigan scoring their first goal against United West last week off of a long throw into the box. And a towering header inside the 6-yard box is instead now Lansing Common with a corner. Beck, low and hard, that one easily dealt with. A foul committed. Middle of the park results in another Lansing Common turn of possession. So Jack Beck once again to play as we approach the 7-minute mark here in the Michigan's capital city. Played forward, high off his line, rest him, way into the arms of the West Michigan netminder, dispelling any danger going forward for the Robins. Rest him. Opening the pressure from Omar, instead Payne able to get the first touch. Now Antcliff. One touch to Beck, played forward for Voigt along the far side. Snuffed out by Strouser. Now here comes West Michigan. Long range shot, that one well into the arms of Spiegel. Rabone from inside the midfield. And a turnover here, caught possession, and that's a goal. Spiegel with an error between the sticks. It won't go down as an own goal, but it sure might as well be, as West Michigan against the run of play takes a surprising 1-0 lead. It's West Michigan 1, Lansing Common 0. And Spiegel, who's had some problems in possession, finally bites the bullet on that one as Rabone is credited with the turnover and the goal. As with just under 8 minutes played in this one, Lansing Common find themselves down. Omar. Goal now credited to Chris Shaw. Does not matter who it goes to, is Danny Brandt, the bench boss for West Michigan, will enjoy this 1-0 lead early on the road. Russ played in, nobody begging. Instead, it goes out for a goal kick. As we said, Spiegel, who's had some moments in possession throughout a majority of this season, finally has one cost him in the biggest game of the season so far for the Robins. Played forward for the most recent goal scorer, Shaw. The flag goes up, a foul committed by Ben Derby. A free kick in the final third for the Bearings. It'll be Levi Haight to take it. Approaching 5 men inside the 18, or just near it for the Bearings. The one-man wall of Jack Beck stands in the way of Levi Haight. Haight, the outswinger, back post. That one goes wide. Spiegel, who makes up for his recent mishap with thinking quickly off his line. Senrick with the pressure. Up for Omar, dispossessed in the process. A foul given against Omar. It results in another free kick for the Bearings. It's Patrick Beal just limpering. Played out for Jordan Hooker. Vanderlucht. Intercepted by Beck. Spartan looking for numbers forward. Switches play, looking on the far side for Voigt. That one rolls inside the 18, easy for Reston to deal with. Played out now for Jordan Hooker. Now Haight in the middle of the park. Played back to Reston. The Robins, who are 0-3 against West Michigan, this is a must-win game for them if they want to stay in contention for the division crown. West Michigan, if they win tonight, Lansing Common eliminated, and it will go down to the final 2 games for 1927 Sport Club, as this ball is ruled to have gone out of play. Signaled for a corner kick, says the far linesman. The referee agrees. He'll have a discussion with the defenders inside the 6. Nonetheless, it's a Lansing Common corner as we approach the 12-minute mark. It'll be Seth Russ to take this with a right foot and swinger. Russ into the box, high up is Reston, clattered into by Wishmeyer. Free kick given as he had another set piece goes awry for the Robins. Reston, who has looked confident within the first quarter of an hour, he'll be high off his line for a majority of this game after those 2 set pieces for Lansing Common. He was friendly in the pregame. This ball turned over to Haight. Played forward now along the near side for Shaw. Shaw barreling in on goal. Tried the cutback on Hungerford. Results in a corner kick as Hungerford did just enough to knock Shaw off the ball and send it out for the corner. Set pieces, something the Robins have been dealing with majority of the season. A lot of goals given up on set pieces, including one last week against Tulip City that started the small rally for the Tulips. It'll be Rabone to take this one. The outswinger, top of the 6. That one wouldn't go. Just over the bar for Reed Vanderlucht, who's had 2 headers so far and has missed the mark on both opportunities. It'll be Spiegel to take the ensuing goal kick. Past the head of Voigt. Along the near side for Reed Vanderlucht. Now over to Beal, working around the pressure of Fedi Omar. Out to the far wing, off of Antcliff, out of play. Hasenrick. Him and Antcliff entangled. It'll be Hasenrick who makes his way with possession. Turned over now to Voigt. Too many men in his presence. Instead turned back over to the Barings, where Jordan Hooker has it now. Looking forward. Spotted the run of Shaw. Instead too far for him. It goes out for a Lansing Common throw. Forward along the far side for Jack Voigt. He got things started last week against Tulip City. Sent out for a throw. Antcliff up to take the throw. It's Robbins. Long range effort from Antcliff, well over the bar. And again, a waste of possession for the Robins as it's sent out for another goal kick. Restum taking his time as he's done on a majority of these goal kicks. Something to keep an eye on as we make our way into the later stages of this game. Payne dealt with the initial cross, instead played forward. Vanderlucht over to Shaw, looking back post. Still in the mixer, finally dealt with by Wischmeyer. Sent back out to the halfway line where the Bearings collect. Henry played forward along the far side. Now interior for Levi Haight. Strauser. Hooker made his way past Kalovitz with ease. Instead, now pressured by Beck, he's forced to play in the negative. It's the Bearings looking to break this defensive line and posture for the Robins. Omar trying to play it forward, instead intercepted. Wischmeyer forced to play once again in the negative as the Robins searching to break this press of the Bearings. Beck looking forward, trying to find the run of Omar. Omar, the one touch, couldn't get it to fall down. Instead, another goal kick, but a great effort there by the Hazlitt native. Just couldn't put it down under the bar. What a lovely pass there from Jack Beck. Beck, who's got 2 assists this season and it's now 7 starts for the Robins. Had 33 consecutive starts just about 10 minutes down the road with the Michigan State Spartans. 7 goals and 4 assists in 64 appearances with the green and white. Clumsy challenge there by Kalovitz, ran over Strauser. It results in a free kick for the Bearings. Now Matthew Henry with it. To Beal, and now Jordan Hooker. He's been a staple on this West Michigan squad. Instead, now turned over Seth Russ. Knocked down in the process. No foul, says the center official. Voigt. Heavy first touch, back now to Payne. Intercepted once again by the Bearings. Bird. Center of the park for Hasenrich. Shadowed by Derby. Played now for Vanderlucht. Strauser working around Jack Beck. Mitchell Strauser in the middle of the pitch. Payne barreled down, nothing called for the referee. Instead, the Robins dealing with the loose ball, now played forward for Jack Voigt. As we approach the 20-minute mark, Voigt try to work around Henry. Last deflection off of Voigt results in a throw-in for West Michigan. Antcliff with the interception, instead back into West Michigan hands. Over the head of Beck. Collected now by Seth Russ. 3-on-5 for the Robins. Russ dealing with the pressure. Now all along the near wing, Kalovitz. Back to Hungerford. Still Landon Hungerford. Played out wide for Kalovitz. Kalavitz is cross deflected off of the boot of Vanderlucht out for a Lansing corner, their third of the game.
Lansing Facts. This corner kick is brought to you by your corner party store. You know the one.
It'll be Russ to deliver the ensuing set piece for the Robins. Russ with the delivery. Back post, Payne! Kevin Payne with his second goal of the season has knocked things back together at one as the big man at the back, the Jackson native, who's gotten all the attention from the media this week, saying he loves this club and loves everything about it, has put them back into a position to take the 3 points. It's Lansing Common 1, West Michigan Bearings 1. Set pieces have been dangerous for the Robins. Payne scored off of a similar header this season against BIH to take a 2-1 lead on the west side of the state, resulting in a 4-1 victory for the Robins. Payne, who was the center of attention this week, as we said earlier, lots of media attention given to the Niagara University product, who surprisingly has not scored a goal nor garnished an assist in his 32 games played for the Purple Eagles. Now has his second of the season and third as a Robin in just his 23rd appearance. Matthew Henry. Now Gabe Bird. In the middle of the park, playing forward, Rabone. Played into the negative for Shaw. Looking interior, Rabone, quick off his feet, Payne with the intercept. Lansing Common, Russ caught in possession. Vanderlucht was able to retrieve the loose ball. Now Strausser. Once again to Matthew Henry, as West Michigan is 4-4-2 for the Bearings. Has caused Lansing Common some problems. Trying to work free of the press. Rabone got away from Beck. Played back for Jordan Hooker. Middle of the park for Strausser. Far side for Bird, off of his boot and out of touch. Out for a Lansing Common throw. Payne, who has started now 10 consecutive games for the Robins, all 10 games this season. Difference maker so far after Chris Shaw opened the scoring off of a gaff from Sam Spiegel. Spiegel allowing just his 8th goal in 7 appearances for the Robins, 21 saves to his name. Most likely will not inch that record set by Ethan Brandt last season in single season saves, with 52 of them, including a mesmerizing performance on the road in Washington Township against the Michigan Stars. B. Hooker looking along the far side for Bird. Dispossessed by Antcliff. He got taken down. No call, says the referee, as he sends Bird back to the ground and gives up possession. Shaw, the lone goal scorer for the Bearings. Now for Jordan Hooker. Levi Haight. Now to Shaw. Rabone. Back out wide, Vanderlucht. Working against Kalavitz. The press of Lansing Common doing just enough to send it back onto the West Michigan side of the pitch. Now Matthew Henry on a... both teams looking to take advantage of this late start, the 7:30 start time. Actual kickoff at 7:40, an 80-degree day here in Lansing as the sun begins to set behind us. Now Chris Shaw working around Wishmeyer. Shaw! That one blocked by Derby, sent back out for Hooker. The danger still on for West Michigan. Hooker out swinging back post. That one dealt with by Antcliff, out for a head or a throw in. As once again, the Robins able to avert the danger. But the long throw, lining up for is Gabe Bird. Look for the man in the middle, and Vanderlucht. Up, Payne first there to send it back out for a throw-in. This one a lot closer to the corner flag. Gabe Bird will step up to take it once more. Bird with the long throw. Vanderlucht straight in the arms of Spiegel, who did his homework over the week, saw Vanderlucht in front of him, got the positioning correct, and instead was in the right place at the right time to negate any danger from the Barings right back. Now back for Landon Hungerford. Russ, tangled with Strausser, he'll stop up along the near wing. Looking for options, has Hungerford. Now Kalovitz along the wing. Through Vanderlucht. Kalovitz looking back post, making the run was Voigt instead, too far for him. It results possession now for West Michigan. Bird looking for the run of Shaw. Spiegel way out of his box. Send it back up to the halfway line. Omar now trying to bring it down was Russ. Instead, it's Matthew Henry who was able to win the ensuing ball. Hungerford did well to take Senrick off the ball. It's the Robins who have had some meaningful spells of possession, just have only been able to break lines on the counter. This one rolls into the West Michigan end. And back out for Jordan Hooker. So West Michigan playing from up top in the standings, as they're first in the league, an 8-2-1 record. Omar a little bit shaken up after that challenge on Beal. Looking forward for Vanderlucht. It goes out for a Lansing Common throw, as almost another turnover. So West Michigan just 3 points ahead of 1927, with the Fort Wayne club owning a game in hand. West Michigan will need this one in order to keep their title hopes alive. Instead, it could all come down to Sunday, as well, as if 1927 picks up 6 points from the remaining 2 games. They'll be tied on points with West Michigan, but the head-to-head going in favor of 1927 with a 3-1 win over Barings earlier this season. Now for Hungerford. Played back into the 18 for Russ. That one just past the far post. Russ did just enough to hold off the defender. Beal couldn't get on the right side of him, and Russ's effort just whiskers wide outside of an outstretched Patrick Restham, who was in no man's land, but just could not curl it into that far corner. Would have been a highlight reel goal for the Lansing striker, and instead rolls out for a goal kick. Ball played in the middle of the park, back for Pat Beal. Now to Hooker. Acres of space in front of him, so the center back will enjoy some time in possession. Now played forward for Shaw. Out wide, Hasenrick. Played in the middle, nobody there in a brown jersey. So this one rolls out for a throw-in for Lansing Common. Kevin Payne with it. No numbers forward. Seth Russ played forward for Antcliff. Robbins on the counter. A long touch there by Antcliff. Instead rolls back out, played forward for Wishmeyer. Along the far side to Fetty Omar. Tried to play it first time, scuffed the pass. It's sent back out to the halfway line. Russ, late on the challenge, finds the feet of William Rabone. Trying to play it forward for Senrick, knocked out of play by Kevin Payne. So throw in, played for Senrick, got on the far side of Antcliff. Now Rabone, shadowed by Voigt. Beck doing just enough to dispossess two West Michigan players as Antcliff caught in possession. Back to Beck. Now for Derby. Couldn't deal with it cleanly. Vanderlucht was there, tried to say it was off of Derby, and instead rolls out for a Lansing goal kick. Hungerford had it roll away from him on the first touch. Instead dispossessed. Kalovitz will play forward. Omar outside of the boot looking for Russ. Picked up by Henry. After the counterattack goes awry for Lansing Common. Hooker adjusting his shin pads behind the play. Looks to have picked up a knock. Instead he'll play on as this pass well off the boot of Vanderlucht, resulting in another throw-in for Lansing Common. Reed Vanderlucht, the product of Calvin College. Played at Grand Rapids Christian in high school. Bring that hot pass down from Wishmeyer. Mr. Robbins stuck at the halfway line. Voigt looking forward for Russ. Now Antcliff. Stopped up along the halfway line, taken down behind the play. So now Chris Shaw with it. Has a runner along the near side, and Hasenrick. Still Chris Shaw working around Payne. Shaw! Off the bar! Hasenrick put it wide. Shaw, who found himself on the right side of Kevin Payne. The right-footed shot past Spiegel, just couldn't put it past the woodwork. And a dangerous opportunity on the counter for the Bearings. As we've hit the 35-minute mark. In a 1-1 game, Shaw opened the scoring off a turnover. Just under 9 minutes into this one, equalized in the 31st minute, or the 21st minute, I should say, by Kevin Payne. Sees us at 1-1 here, a level score. And one that would not be friendly to the Robin faithful, as we'll get a stoppage here as Fetty Omar seems to have taken up a knock at the middle of the park. Looks to be in some discomfort. It'll be a makeshift water break for the two teams. There's a substitution looking to be made as Omar is clenching his nose. It'll be Brandon Dixon warming up on the sidelines for Lansing Common. And for the moment being, it'll be Lansing Common playing with 10 men unless the fourth official deems that Fede Omar can continue. As Dixon makes his way back onto the bench, still in full uniform. Be something to take a look at with just under 10 minutes to play until stoppage time here in the first half. Lansing Common playing with 10 men for the time being. An advantage in personnel for the Bearings. Strauser. Bird. Strauser, heavy touch, just got it away from Jack Beck. Now for William Rabone. Looking forward for Henrik. Laid back for Shaw. Tried to play it forward. Instead, a foul given up by Kevin Payne. Henrik was held. Excuse me, Shaw was held, and instead it'll be the Jackson native who gives away the free kick, and a dangerous one at that for the Bearings here as we hit the 38th minute. And Fede Omar making his way back to the sideline, trying to plead his case to go back onto the pitch. It won't happen before this free kick. It'll be a four-man wall for Lansing Common. Looks as though Chris Shaw has stepped up to take it. Fede Omar making his return onto the pitch. Shaw with the shot just wide of Spiegel. A good effort from the Bearing striker, just missed that near post. Lansing Common, they gave up a free kick goal against West Michigan Bearings, but it didn't actually count. The referee deeming that the offensive player for West Michigan was inside 1 yard of the wall. That's not allowed. That is misconduct. It resulted in a free kick going the other way for the Robins. As the Bearings, who enjoyed a 13-minute lead, they've looked to be the better of the two sides, or at least the more controlled side through the first 40 minutes of this one. As Henrik offside, it results in a free kick and a turnover for the Bearings. And it looks as though we will get that substitution. It'll be an early one, possibly some load management here, as Brandon Dixon makes his way back onto the pitch in place of Fede Omar, whose second start maybe did not go the way he planned. It's Dixon, who's making his 5th appearance for the Robins, has 1 goal, 2 assists to his account this season. Native of Hazlet, last played in Serbia for Belgrade United. Played and started for all 6 games in his short tenure with the Serbian side. Played forward looking for Dixon, got on the right side of the defender, but committed a foul in the process, resulting in another whistle and a free kick. Dixon, who brings that quality striker prowess to Brent Sorg's side. As he dispossesses Henry. Now Dixon, working on the right side of him, tried to call or draw the foul. Instead, his shot rolls in on Restum. And Dixon has that big playability for the Robins, a natural striker. Complementing the playmaking ability of Seth Russ. Restum with the long boot forward. Nodded forward by Hungerford. Looking for Dixon. Played out for Hooker. unable to keep it from going out was Russ. It results in another throw-in for the Barings. Played quickly by Hooker, back to Restum, as Restum played most recently finishing up his collegiate soccer career at Western Washington. Spent 2 years with the Northern Michigan Wildcats. Had 22 appearances in his 3 years at Western Washington. Logging just under 2,000 minutes for the university. He graduated this past December, a winter graduate with a degree in marketing. Now Jack Beck with it in the middle of the park for Lansing. Out for Antcliff. Got caught in 2 minds, turned over. Hasenrick, look in the middle of the park, Rabone. Now to Shaw, Hungerford getting back in time. Sends it out for Kalovitz. In front of him was Vanderlucht. He'll play it to the far side. Bird in a battle with Antcliff. Bird went down to the ground. It's given as a goal kick. It's Aiden Antcliff, who's made himself a nuisance on that right side for opposing forwards. He started every game this season for the Robins. Played forward, looking for Russ. Out of his 18 is Restum. He'll boot it forward. Derby with time heads it back to Spiegel. It's a trade of possession with just 3 minutes until stoppage time. Hungerford, Wishmeyer. One touch trying to play it through to Kalovitz. Did just enough past Vanderlucht. Here comes Kalovitz. Tried to spot the run of Voigt. The flag goes up along the far side. Play will continue as the referee finally blows the whistle. The assistant along the far side correctly noting the offside. As Voigt couldn't hold his run in time as the 2 wingers trying to connect. Kalovitz just didn't spot Voigt in time as he made his run in the middle of the park. As Kalovitz did just enough to create that half chance for the Robins. Got it past Vanderlucht, the outstretched left leg of his, keeping the ball under control. Played forward by Rabone now for West Michigan. Dispossessed by Derby in the middle of the park. Beck trying to work around 2 Barings. Instead loses out. Now Levi Haight. He's been quiet in the past 15 minutes. Out for Gabe Bird. Back in the middle for Haight. He goes down. Nope. Foul, says the referee, as the Robins can bring numbers forward. Wishmeyer. Holding up, he'll play it to the wing for Kalovitz. Spotting nothing going forward. Instead now for Hungerford. The left back playing it forward. The 1-2 with Kalovitz. Here comes Hungerford along the wing. Played in. Russ! Russ! Oh, just able to get the hand on it was Restum. It's another spinorama shot from Seth Russ denied by Patrick Restum. Who's put together a stellar season for West Michigan after putting up historic numbers with Western Washington, a .725 save percentage. Put him in 8th amongst all-time keepers. Dixon unable to play it cleanly. Now played forward for Shaw. Spotting the run of Hasenrick. The flag immediately going up. It's Kevin Payne applauding the near side assistant referee's decision as we get the word from downstairs. An additional 2 minutes minimum of stoppage time to be played in this first half. Voigt. Shadowed there by Levi Haight, who's done pretty well in defense and on the press coverage for West Michigan. Turned over to Hooker. Along the near side for Vanderlucht. Hooker. Only as far as Hungerford. His first touch evades him. Reclaimed by West Michigan. Kalavitz sat to the ground by Vanderlucht. Hungerford there in support. Ticked it off the back heel of Vanderlucht. Results in a throw-in for the Robins as Hungerford did just enough to negate the pressure. Hungerford, who's approaching 2,000 minutes in his Robins career, has started every game this season. He's now started 23 games for Lansing Common. Turned over to Shaw. Rabone. Getting on the inside. Back out to Shaw. Lined up. Well over the bar by Haight. He'll want to have that one back. He got it all wrong on the shot. And now out for a Lansing goal kick, with just under 60 seconds remaining in the minimum 2 minutes of added time. Spiegel not happy with the air pressure of that ball. There's going to be a game operations intern who's going to get yelled at for that. Not the correct PSI in that one. That ball tossed away like an aforementioned ex-boyfriend in Taylor Swift's Dear John. The Speak Now Taylor's version has hit the airwaves last weekend. Now Kevin Payne. Looking for Kalavitz. He's got space going forward. Lovely first touch. Kalavitz played far side. Russ, can he get there? He can't, and results in a goal kick as the last action of the first half goes awry. Chris Shaw opened things up for the Barings just 9 minutes in, but Kevin Payne's second goal of the season has leveled things at 1, and after the first 45, it's West Michigan Barings 1, Lansing Common 1. First 45 in the books, second 45 set to get underway. A game with division title implications. The second half here in Michigan's capital city. No changes to speak of on either side after the halftime break. Just the one substitution in this game. Fetty Omar making way for Brandon Dixon, the lone sub for the Robins, the lone substitution in this match. Henry with it for West Michigan, who, though speaking of the better team, especially in and out of possession, only the one goal off of a turnover early in this match. Now here comes Jack Voigt along the near side. Voigt with a burst of speed, tried to play it in for Russ, instead intercepted by Beal. His clearing attempt going off of a Lansing Common player and out for a throw-in. As Jack Voigt looked to utilize his speed like he did last week against Tulip City. Once again scoring Lansing Common's opening goal in the 4-2 win that effectively kept their season alive while ending Tulip City's title run hopes. Derby almost caught in possession, did just enough in front of Hasenrick. Danger not averted. Back to Spiegel. Up to the middle of the park for Jack Beck. Now for Brandon Dixon. Trying to work around the defender, he does so. Still Brandon Dixon in 1-on-4. Russ doing just enough, was Vanderlocked, and now collected by Hooker. Sent back out of the mix. Still in possession, Hungerford. Out wide for Kalovitz. Took a deflection on its way in. Back from long range. That one blocked and sent back out. Antcliff won't get there first. It's now Shaw. Back for Rabone, who returns the favor to Chris Shaw. Now Reed Vanderlucht. Vanderlucht stopped up along the near side now for Gabe Bird. His shot well over the bar. That one won't test Spiegel. Played quickly by the Robins. Middle of the park for Dixon. Now up for Antcliff from his defensive position. Lovely ball in for Russ. He's in on side. Still Russ! Save made Restum. Kalovitz the header off the line by Restum. A great chance for the Robins. Russ, with the initial effort, couldn't get it past Restum. It's the Western Washington netminder doing just enough to hold the Robins at bay. That play all started by the shallow run of Brandon Dixon, who came in support. Instead, let his forwards and Kalovitz go forward, opened up some space. This ball now finds its way to the Bearings. Shaw played forward. Derby commits the foul. That'll be a free kick. That's a card as well for Ben Derby. He was on the wrong side of Grant Hasenrick, and that's a dangerous yellow card there for the Lansing center back. As both center backs now on the score sheet for different reasons. Kevin Payne for a goal, and now Ben Derby, the Western Michigan product, given the caution, and a dangerous free kick opportunity now for West Michigan. This is something that Lansing Common cannot afford to give up in the early stages of the second half. It's a must-win game for the Robins. A five-man wall for Lansing Common. Be Rabone and Haight that stand over this free kick. Just 22 yards away from goal. Rabone! That is a simply sensational strike from the midfielder from the west side. And an unforced error by the Robins. They make them pay as West Michigan takes the lead. It's the Bearings 2, Lansing Common 1. just under 5 minutes played in the second half. Lansing Common with 2 great opportunities to start the second 45, and against the run of play, West Michigan has increased their lead. And as things stand, Lansing Common eliminated from division title contention as if these results hold. Payne looking forward for Russ. Beal there in front of the Lansing forward. Now for Chris Shaw, trying to work around Jack Beck, poked back and turned over to Brandon Dixon. Now to Jack Voigt along the wing. He's got space and time. Played in the middle of the park. Beck wasn't on the same page. So it's sent forward now for the Bearings. Hungerford caught his man in possession. Beck trying to work around Haight. Instead, it'll be the latter that reclaims possession. Takes a late lick from Beck. A little frustration from the young man. Free kick for the Bearings. Restum doing familiar antics, wasting as much time as he can. As we said, that could be a difference maker in this one. Antcliff off the interception. Voigt looking for Dixon. Shoved off by Henry. Played back for Restum, has to play it quickly. Instead, skims off the turf and out for Lansing Common throw. Quickly in for Seth Russ. Backed up against Beal. Russ still with it inside the 18. Deflected out. Collected by Antcliff along the near wing. The outswinger, that took a deflection and back out for Mark Wishmeyer. Out for Derby along the far side. Now for Kalovitz. Heavy touch there by Payne. Able to reclaim possession. Kalovitz looking for the run of Seth Russ. Russ looking for Dixon. Restum will usher it into his arms and collect things with just 8 minutes played in the second half. Goals from Chris Shaw and the latest from William Rabone have given the Bearings the lead here, giving them a stranglehold on top of the Great Lakes West Division. Derby, his pass intercepted by Hasenrik. With some speed along the far side. Hasenrik in a goal, cuts it back. Antcliff did just enough to deal with it, took a knock in the process. Free kick given for the Robins. And unfamiliar territory for the Robins, who are effectively trying to run the table after that loss to Thundercats SC just a few weeks ago. Strong challenge there by Strausser, now played forward along the far side. Bird in with it. Shaw through 2. Shaw able to make the save. Spiegel, and the return effort wouldn't go by Strausser, who had acres of cage to aim at. Worrisome signs again at the back for Lansing Common, as Shaw and Hasenrik with 2 grade A opportunities to extend the lead. As West Michigan, since getting that second goal, has looked much more livelier after those first 2 scares from the Robins. In for Shaw after the throw-in. Up is Payne. Able to dispossess Shaw. Forward now for Voigt along the near side. Jack Voigt, burst of speed, played inside for Russ. Left it for Dixon. The 2 of them are not on the same page. Out for a throw-in for the Robins. Antcliff. In for Russ. Ushered out by Henry. Another set piece now for the Robins. Played interior for Russ. Tried to let it run through. Instead, held up by Beal. Rolls out for a goal kick. We got a substitution here as it's Mark Wishmeyer who will make way for Munir Shirali, who's not available last week in the win over Tulip City. Shirali, who's had 32 appearances, make it 33 now with Lansing Common, has 6 goals and 5 assists on his account. Tied for third in all-time scoring. This is pass played all the way back to Patrick Restum. Along the far side, Vanderlucht. Now for Haight. Intercepted immediately, the first touch there for Munir Shirali. Now Kalovitz spots the run of Hungerford. He'll play him along the far side. Hungerford looking interior, has Dixon. Rolls in for Antcliff! What a strike! Aiden Antcliff from no man's land with a thunderous strike has leveled the game at 2. It's now West Michigan Bearings 2, Lansing Common 2. And what a time to score your first goal as Aiden Antcliff, who's been a staple along this back line for Lansing Common, opens his account as a Robin. And after a year and a gruesome injury last season that kept him off the pitch, he's been back. He's been brilliant and simply enchanting with that lovely right-footed strike. It's leveled things at 2 apiece, but still, if the results hold, Lansing Common's title hopes, they need a win. Anything but 3 points results in their season ending. As Kalovitz will get the assist on Antcliff's account opener. And Antcliff committing a foul in the middle of the park. Shaw went down in a heap instead. Free kick now for the Bearings. Along the near side for Gabe Bird. His pass intercepted by Voigt. Dixon forward for Russ. Now for Beck. Had one man to beat. Deflected back for Dixon. Played forward for Beck. Beck one-on-one. Tries to usher his man. Penalty, says the referee. Beck, who did just enough to hold his run onside. Dixon found him in time as Jack Beck throws his man down. Hooker was on the wrong side of him, commits the foul, and an opportunity for the Robins to take their first lead of the night. And it comes from the penalty spot. And the man who won the penalty seems to be standing up for it. Beck, the Michigan man. He scored a penalty kick goal against Army this season for the Michigan State Spartans. Can he do one here for Lansing Common? Beck. Save made by Restum. Unable to put it along the far side. He went low and hard, but not hard enough. As Restum guessed correctly, may have discussed some trade secrets with his buddy before the game. But nonetheless, we play on here as we've approached the hour mark here in the capital city. Antcliff shoved down by Bird. It's a free kick for the Robins. Antcliff switching play to Hungerford. His first touch evades him as Vanderlucht is well up from his defensive position. Hungerford trying to find the run of Russ. It's left all the way inside the 18. Reston will calmly collect. As Reston and the West Michigan Bearings in the driver's seat of this game. Shell-shocked a little bit after Antcliff's strike. Oh, misplaced pass. Here's Dixon. Dixon, one man to beat. Henry hot on his tail. Dixon! Couldn't settle it down. May have taken a slight bobble on its way through. Reston almost got a glove to it. Instead, it's out for a goal kick. As Hooker, once again on the receiving end of a turnover. This time, Brandon Dixon couldn't make him pay. Reston now in the middle of the park. Schirali leaping for the header. Played forward by Beck. Knotted down by Beal. Intercepted by Voigt. Russ couldn't get the footing underneath him. The turf a little slippery from the rain over the past few days. They go out for a Lansing Common throw. A substitution about to be made by West Michigan. It looks as though it'll shore up some defenses on the back. Another tall defender looks to be coming in for the Bearings. Dixon with it now off the throw-in. Dixon, past one. Still Brandon Dixon. Far side, Kalavitz. Kalavitz inching towards the byline, ushered down by Vanderlucht. No penalty, says the referee. We play on. So that substitution will now be made. It'll be Grant Hasenrick. His day is up. It'll be Carter Selvius, who makes his way onto the pitch. Another dangerous front man for the Bearings as they look to take all 3 points. Mind you, a draw helps West Michigan in the standings, but this is all they have left. The last time they could get a full 3 points. Reston's pass ushered out for a throw-in. With just under half an hour remaining here at Eastern Stadium. A free kick given away by Kalavitz. The home fans with some slight grunts, including the supporter section along the far side, disagreeing with the header official. Now for Shaw. Trying to work past Jack Beck. Worked along the far side for Vanderlucht. Intercepted by Hungerford. He can bring it forward now. Heavy touch by him, doing just enough. Was Hooker, who ushered it out for another throw. More substitutions lining up or getting warmed up for the Robins. It'll be Victor Toon and Amir Shatia. Now in the middle of the park, Dixon. Looking for runners, forced to stop up. Play it out for Schirali. Far side for Hungerford. Numbers in the box for Lansing Common. Initially dealt with by Beal and sent back up to the halfway line. Brought down by Schirali. The Eastern Illinois product. Over for Voigt. Doing just enough to keep it inside the field of play. Antcliff. Back to Payne. Time and space, finds Kalavitz. One touch looking for Russ, instead sent back out. Where Derby able to dispossess Shaw. Goes back out to Payne. Middle of the park, Hungerford. Looking, Hungerford between the wickets, out to Kalavitz. Numbers in the box again, looking for Dixon. Sent up in the air, Reston quick off his line. And into his arms as waiting for that loose ball was Voigt along the near side. We'll have 2 substitutions upcoming for the Robins. Played forward by Restham. Knotted in the air by Hungerford. Heavy first touch. Beck is there to collect the loose ball. Forward looking for Kalovitz. Instead, Vanderlucht. Kalovitz, his number seems to be on the officials' table. Last action for him. Antcliff with a strong challenge. Intercepted though. Bird for Rabone. Far side Vanderlucht. Back for Rabone. Rabone, who went down awfully easily, says Jack Beck. He has some words for the center official. The result in a free kick for the Barings as those substitutions will be made. It'll be Kalovitz who makes way for Shatia.
Into the game for the Robins, number 15, Amir Shatia.
As well as Jack Voigt in, are coming off the pitch for Victor Toon. Like for like substitutions on the wings for Lansing Common. As 2 of the 3 goal scorers from last week against Tulip City have made their way off the pitch. And an introduction of speed along the wings for Brett Sorg's side. Looking for some magic here in the final 25. Played in by Rabone, headed out by Hungerford. The strong presence by the Niagara man to win that loose ball. Now for Beck. Played in the middle of the park for Russ. Left it now for Toon. His first touch. Back to Russ. Chance still begging for the Robins, as it'll find Antcliff along the near wing. Now for Victor Toon. Acres of space along that near side. Toon, his cross blocked by Henry and sent out for a throw. Played quickly for Dixon. Back out to Toon. Played in. Seth Russ. Back for Shatia. Lining up. Hungerford! Had the right idea, just could not square that ball down. It would have been a magnificent volley from the young man had he connected. And instead back into the prized possession of Patrick Restham, as he stands in the driver's seat to waste as much time in this game as he possibly can. 1 point helps West Michigan, but it will be solely out of their hands if they want to contend for the Great Lakes Conference title. Foul once again given up by Beck. Signs of frustration from him. Simply has not been his day with 50-50 challenges in the middle of the park. Played forward by Haight. Leaping for it was Bird. Now in the middle of the park, Shirali ushers it out of danger. Now for Victor Toon. Looking for Russ. Got on the opposite side of Beal. No foul, says the referee. We play on. Now for Beck. Has a man far side. It's Shatia. Back for Munir Shirali. Looking far side, spots the run of Victor Toon in acres of space. Back for Antcliff. Antcliff, an outswinger, looking interior, couldn't get anything towards a white jersey. It's now Haight working around Shatia. Vanderlucht will hoof it back up the pitch. First on the scene is Ben Derby as the Robins reclaim possession in the opposing half. Just over 20 minutes left to play here in Lansing. As it stands, Lansing Common's title hopes dwindling by the moment. Dixon, dispossessed by Henry. It'll result in another throw-in for the Robins. As a nervous crowd of 482 souls looks onward. Played off of Henry and out for a corner. A smart play there by the young Brandon Dixon. It'll result in a corner for the Robins. The last one they had in that first half in the 21st minute resulted in a goal off the head of Kevin Payne. Beck with the in-swinging service. Played, looking back post, Payne got on the end of it, couldn't direct it onto the frame. As it's sent back out for a goal kick. So another substitution set to be made by the Robins. It'll be their 5th of the night as Ali Ahmad gets instructions from Brent Sorg. Restum's kick. Headed up by Vanderlucht. Collected by Shatia. Played back by Wishmeyer. He's held up by Vanderlucht. Back for Spiegel. Has to play it quickly. His pass intercepted by Strausser. Dinks it far side, looking for Vanderlucht. Instead, Wishmeyer there to play it quickly. Russ. Now along the near side for Toon. Lansing Common could be on the counter here. Toon couldn't get it past the first defender. It's now brought out by Gabe Bird. Out to Reed Vanderlucht. Still Vanderlucht. Payne with a reckless challenge there. Got all of the ball. It was a very good one from him. Shirali up for Dixon. Pestered by Henry. It'll result in a free kick as Henry got on the wrong side of Brandon Dixon. Antcliff switches play to the far side for Landon Hungerford. Now has Shatia along the far wing. Trying to work on Vanderlucht. Shatia in the near side, couldn't get it to go. As everybody in white was hoping there was more whip on that cross. Instead, it goes out for another throw-in. So it'll be a striker substitution for Brent Sorg. It'll be Seth Russ instead, who makes way for Ali Ahmad. Back, first touch for Ahmad. Trying to play it for Dixon. Sliced by Beal. Back out for Jack Beck. Just over a quarter of an hour remaining in Lansing's title hopes. Shatia. Pestered there by Vanderlucht. Collected by Wishmeyer. Shatia, a dangerous challenge. He gets taken down as well. It's another free or a header for Lansing Common. So the player is still down along that far side. It looks to be Mitchell Strausser. He gets up, we play on. Throw in, looking for Ahmad. Trying to work around 3 defenders, back out. Intercepted by Vanderlucht. He took a challenge late. It's another free kick given up by the Robins. And a substitution walking up to the 4th official for West Michigan. It would be their second. They have the cards in hand, and at the moment have a stranglehold on Lansing's division title hopes. Bird working around Toon. Still Gabe Bird. Back for Shaw. Far side for Vanderlucht. Collected by Bird. Sent out for a throw-in by Hungerford. As we'll get that substitution now. It'll be a double. A triple substitution, I should say, for West Michigan. As CJ Strauser will make his way onto the pitch along with Caden Shaban. The long throwing along the far side. Looking interior, quick off his line, a foul committed inside the box. It's a free kick for Lansing Common. Now we will get that third substitution as looks to be Nainoa Norton. It'll be Norton. Makes his way onto the pitch for West Michigan. For William Rabone, who started the scoring for West Michigan early on in this game. Played forward. Here comes Lansing Common, a great back check by Vanderlucht, steered it back to Restum. He's forced to play it quickly though. Past Shatia, he's in a foot race with Strauser. It'll be Shatia who wins out. Tried to play it through the body of Vanderlucht. It's sent out for another throw in for Lansing Common. Shirali with it. Closed off immediately. Can't get around Vanderlucht. Calvin Product last to touch it. Instead played forward. Now for Carter Selvius. He'll angle it to the byline and sent it off the boot of Dixon and out for a throw-in along the far side with just under 15 minutes left in this one, barring stoppage time. Lansing Common, fans biting their fingers after that penalty chance for Jack Beck was saved by Patrick Restum. Just moments after Aiden Antcliff's equalizing goal. Now sent forward along the near side for Caden Shaban. Getting on the right side of him was Toon. Now here comes Victor Toon. Looking forward for the run of Dixon. Trying to get there is Beal. Dixon reclaims possession, stopped up outside the 18. Now for Toon. Back to Dixon, one-on-one with Beal. Played in, deflected off of Beal. And into the arms of Restum. Restum will wait for the opposition to retreat. A high kick into the middle of the park. First there was Selvius. Instead, Antcliff able to reclaim possession. Wonderful challenge on the 50-50. Instead, lost out to Shaban. Payne quickly from his center back position. Finds Toon in the middle of the park. He'll send it off the body of Levi Haight and out for a Lansing throw. 11 minutes remaining in Lansing's title hopes. Dixon couldn't hold it in. So it results in a throw-in for the Bearings. Noah once again sent out for a throw-in. Precious time ticking off as more balls make their way onto the pitch. Shaban is throw-in intercepted by Antcliff. Looking forward for Dixon. Caught in possession, played forward for Toon. He's in 1-on-4, waiting for reinforcements. Tried to play it cleanly. Swept out off a boot and out for a corner kick. Another set piece for Lansing Common here in the waning moments of this match. Beck looking for the quick run. Instead, Ahmad will make his way into the 18-yard box. 9 in the box for West Michigan. The in service from Beck, looking back post, kept alive momentarily. Along the far side, Shatia couldn't bring it down, or excuse me, Derby fell down, committed a handball in the process. It results in a free kick for the Barings and another set piece wasted for the Robins. Rest them with all the time in the world. Played forward by Antcliff. Off the chest of Ahmad. Beck putting his body on the line. A free kick, no advantage played. That is going to anger the bench for Lansing Common. A 3-on-3 the other way. That is a remarkable decision by the center official. Advantage not given. Played quickly, back in disbelief. The center official getting a stern yet distasteful wave from Ali Ahmad as he forces Lansing Common to stop up again. With just under 9 minutes now left in this match, the next goal could decide who plays in the championship game here in 2 weeks from now. Played forward by Shirali. Looking back post, bobbled off a few heads. Kept alive momentarily, a free kick given up. By Derby. And that is Ben Derby's night done. It is a red card showed to Ben Derby, a reckless challenge by the Western Michigan Bronco. And that has infuriated the sideline for Lansing Common. They are down to 10 men, and an insurmountable task has now reached borderline impossible levels. It is a 50-50 along the byline as both Derby and Beal went for it. Derby going through the player. It's a reckless challenge, but one going for the ball, no malicious intent. And instead, it results in a second yellow for Ben Derby. And Lansing Common down to 3 defenders. They are down to 10 men. They need a goal. They need a full 3 points. Ahmad trying to shield off his defender. In the middle of the park, Shirali. Just under 8 minutes left. Does Lansing Common have another miracle in them? Antcliff. Dispelled by Hooker. He'll bring it forward now for West Michigan. Intercepted off the boot of Payne and sent out for a throw-in by Hungerford. Played quickly by Vanderlucht. Mind you, West Michigan still playing for a full 3 points. 1 point is not enough to decide the East Division or the West Division crown. Shabane played forward. Norton at the 18, deflected in. Spiegel well off his line, able to reclaim the 2-hopper. Spiegel off the 1-hop. Played by Beal. Up for Noah. Controlled by Beck. Given away, though, to Levi Haight. Looking far side for Reed Vanderlucht. Shadowed there by Hungerford. Played in the middle. This is a chance for West Michigan. Could be the nail in the coffin. Instead, sent out off the boot of Antcliff. At the top of the box. It through, and the flag goes up along the far side. Spiegel made the save anyways. And this crowd of 480, including the broadcaster, can take a breath. We started at 85 degrees, down to 76 as the temperatures get colder, and so do Lansing's title contention hopes. Dixon played forward along the far side. Shatia holding up, waiting for runners. Far side, Ahmad headed it up. Still danger. Knocked up at the top of the box. Shirale, that one blocked. Now Shabane in one-on-one with Antcliff. doing just enough to get in front of him. K. Payne there to dispel possession. Ahmad. Now for Beck. Let it run through his legs out to Wishmar. Or excuse me, to Hungerford. Payne with just 5 minutes remaining here in the capital city. Beck couldn't corral it. Now in the middle of the park. Shatia. Advantage played. He will possibly get a yellow card after this play. Now sent forward. In the near side, Payne doing just enough to deflect it out of play. As it's another corner kick for the Bearings. A dangerous set piece. Strauser there on the far side. The outswinger looking back post. Vanderlocht. Asked the right questions, could not get the right answer. 4 minutes remaining. Desperation time for Lansing Common. Substitution on its way. Spiegel will send it out. An errant kick by the Lansing goalkeeper. As Jack Beck makes way for Jack Lockerbie. There'll be a midfield substitution. No time for caution for Brent Sorg's side. 3.5 minutes remaining plus stoppage time. Haight, shadowed by Ahmad. Played back for Mitchell Strauser. Now to Norton. Ahmad trying to get through 3 defenders. Able to poke it free from Norton. Now for Victor Toon. Couldn't get on the right side of the ball. As it escapes back into possession of Matthew Henry. No, Norton fell off the ball. Here's Dixon. 1-on-3. Taken down behind the play. That'll be a card for Matthew Henry. Fist flying, Ahmad going after Henry, no doubt about it. At least one card will be shown to Matthew Henry for the initial challenge. It's a set piece for Lansing Common. Not an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, so Henry escapes with just the yellow, just the caution. Ali Ahmad also shown a card for his antics after the whistle. Free kick now for Munir Shirali. 120 seconds remaining before stoppage time. Desperation for the Robins. Shirali, back post. Payne couldn't get on the end of it. Ahmad gone 2 defenders, sent up and out by the Bearings. Antcliff in the middle of the park. Back down for Shirali. Hungerford has Ahmad. Along the far wing, looking forward for Dixon. Dixon, now for Toon. Looking for Dixon, the flag goes up along the near side. Played quickly by the Bearings. They also need a goal if they want the full 3 points. Haight in the middle of the park. Far side Vanderlucht. Intercepted by Antcliff. Now for Toon. Toon spots the run of Dixon. Can he get there in time? Yes, he can. Beal way out of gas. Now Dixon looking for his right foot. Brandon Dixon with a man to beat. Crosses back. Looking for Ahmad. Ahmad at the 18. Taken down. No penalty, says the referee. We approach the 90th minute. Desperation still for Lansing Common. Lockerbie. Hoofed out of the pitch by Selvius. This one will straddle the far end line as Payne is there to collect it for Lansing Common. We have hit the 90th minute. 4 minutes of stoppage time. 240 seconds stands between Lansing Common and a possible title berth. Shirali unable to get there. Nainoa Norton played through, looking for Shaw. Quick off his line is Spiegel. Spiegel played quickly, looking for Dixon. Couldn't get there in front of Henry, the much taller of the two. Now Caden Shabane. Nainoa Norton. Back to Shabane. Both teams looking for the full 3 points. Shaw, he's got one in this match. Far side, Haith, blocked by Hungerford. Now for Vanderlucht. Vanderlucht! Tipped over the bar. It'll be a corner for the visitors as we've hit the first of 4 minutes of added time. It'll be a right-footed service for the Barings. Sent low. Looking for Haight atop the 18. Shot, that one blocked. Here comes Lansing Common now with numbers. Played forward along the far side. Ahmad, he's got Dixon holding his run. Can't play it forward. Got the rebound and a lovely challenge by Beal. That may have just saved a goal for West Michigan. Shatia able to win a free kick. It'll be played quickly for the Robins, trying to get it around Norton now. As now we've hit the 2nd minute of the allotted 4. Shirali waiting for options going forward. He can ping one. Getting instructions from Brent Sorg. Arms raised for Shirali. Now Norton. As a runner along the far side, checking his run is Shaw. 2-on-2. Trying to work around Shirali. Played for Norton. Left it for Shabane. Shabane turns inside. Shabane! Wide of the net. 90 seconds remain. One team can go home tonight. Looking for Dixon. Payne, well out of position. Won the initial header. Second still looming. Shirali. Up for Henry. Payne couldn't get there first. It's sent back up to Norton. Shirali trying to make himself a nuisance. It's got its way to Caden Shabane. Now far side. Flag stays down. And on goal, Shaw doing just enough with Lockerbie. 50 seconds. One last gasp for Lansing Common. This is it. Shatia. Soft foul given up. Instead, it'll be played quickly by Lansing Common. Shatia. Long ball, looking for Payne. Headed it back. Nobody there in white. Vanderlucht first. 20 seconds remaining. Norton, Vanderlucht. 10 seconds in the allotted 4. Spiegel, well off his line. Looking for Payne in an offside position. As that will do it. Lansing Common, in their 3rd season, looking for that elusive silverware, will have to wait another season as they have been eliminated from title contention for the 3rd time in 3 years. Aiden Antcliff's sensational second half strike was not enough as Patrick Restham, the former Robin, stymies Jack Beck on a penalty inside the 60th minute. It finishes deadlocked at 2-2. West Michigan will have to wait a few more weeks. Sees what happens on Sunday when Lansing Common takes on 1927 Sport Club in a game that could decide who will face the winner of the Great Lakes East. As that will do it from us, ladies and gentlemen. We thank you all for watching. And special thanks to our production operator, Scott Oberlander, our camera operators. And from Eastern Stadium, I'm Cameron McLaren saying we'll see you on Sunday.